Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing. On the undercard of Joe Joyce versus Derek Chisora, there was an interesting welterweight fight between Sean Noakes, undefeated in 7 with 4 KOs, and Inder Bassi, 12 wins with only 1 KO. He's got an early points defeat. I think it was over 6 to an undefeated fighter, Jack Martin. He's 27, so he's 2 years younger than Sean, but he looks a lot older because he's got a big beard and he's kind of balding on top. But now he's 2 years younger, only 27. And it wasn't a thrilling fight. It was grueling. I think the first 6 rounds were 2-1 pace to be considered, what you'd call exciting, really. I mean, Noakes looked really solid. I mean, he's got that big presence. He's a big, solid, thick welterweight, broad back and very sort of cut. Bassi looking, 6 foot tall, Bassi, which is quite tall for a welter. I imagine he's a couple of inches taller at least than Noakes, a bit thinner obviously. But Bassi didn't have the power to keep Noakes off. In the first 6 rounds, it was a case of Noakes coming forward. Bassi wasn't running. I mean, Bassi was doing his best to sort of keep the guy at bay and mess him around and, just fiddle his way through the rounds. And after 6 rounds, I thought Noakes was way ahead. But Bassi could have just seen out the next 4 rounds. He didn't, though. He tried to fight. He tried to win the fight, and he came in, started to really exchange with Noakes, which kind of suited Noakes. Now, Noakes had a couple of abrasions, not cuts, but they were sort of under the eyes, around the eyes, whereas Bassi was beginning to get busted up. He had a bad cut under one of his eyes. He had, his face was looking, there were lots of bruises and a few minor swellings on the face. But he kept trying. He just didn't have the power to really put any kind of dent in Noakes. And he used his feet a lot without. There were times when I suppose you could say he was running, but he did try and at least win the fight. He just sometimes, like I say before, sometimes with these fights, sometimes one guy is just better than the other, and that proved to be the case with Noakes. He just had a bit too much of everything, but certainly he looked physically stronger in the clinches. Bassi wasn't running. This was, they were both orthodox fighters, both looking to carry on, build on their careers. Bassi at 27, although he ended up losing this fight on points, a unanimous decision. I nevertheless thought, I think the judges had it 96, 94, I had it 90, 97, 90, 97, 93 I had it. So what's that? 7-3 in rounds to Noakes. Judges had it a little bit closer. Bassi did make it interesting through sheer willpower. But unfortunately for him, in the first half of the fight, when Noakes was fresh, Noakes just had a bit too much of everything and was, like I say, I know I'm repeating myself, but physically a very strong guy. And he was landing enough punches to sort of bust up Bassi. Not really, really badly, but nevertheless... he was having an effect. He was having the desired effect. And it was no surprise when the result was announced. Unanimous decision for Noakes. He's got to build on this. This 10 rounds should make both fighters better fighters. Because prior to this, they'd fought journeyman. Neither of them had any names on their records that were above journeyman status. It all looked like, a couple of novices just building up, padding the record until they sort of moved up to... to a higher level. Having said that, I do actually, perhaps I should correct myself, because Inder Bassi has held the Southern Area welterweight title. And I think he's defended it as well. I don't know if he's still the champ, actually. I don't think, well, he's not now because he lost to Noakes. I think he made one successful defence. So he would argue, well, no, actually, I've fought some pretty good men, area level men at least. They're not just journeymen. In the case of Noakes, it most certainly was just journeymen. But he clearly won this fight. I mean, there's no getting away from it. He has moved up. It was a step up. It was a good test, and he passed it. Big up Sean Noakes, brother of Sam Noakes, of course, who's a bit more advanced in his career. How far can Sean Noakes go? How far can Inder Bassi go? This is the long game. I mean, I would say with Noakes at 29, you would expect him to reach the point where he's as good as he's going to get, whereas Bassi, who seems to have less, shall we say, natural skills, He probably looks like a good, solid area level fighter. I would say he at 27, maybe he can get a bit better, maybe pick up another couple of belts along the way. But Noakes seems to have the more raw materials to work with. That's what I would say. But what did you think? What do you think of this fight? It wasn't the most exciting of fights, but I always like to see two guys with good records clashing. Only one defeat between the two of them prior to this fight. And what do you think of Noakes? What do you think of Bassi? Tell me in the comments. What do you think of the fight? Yeah, comments below. Please subscribe to the channel if you're new and hit the like button. Do all that good stuff and support the channel. That would be great. And thanks for your time as always. I'll catch you later. Bye for now.